Ladies, I know some of y'all just can't wrap your mind around that feminism is the reason for your burnout. Listen.
Selling your body for money is not going to help you in 2026.
I've been unemployed for so long that I'm really not excited to go back to another corporate position at this point.
From this point forward in 2026, men should only be dating with women that have lots of money.
However, when they're employing men, they see men as the providers. They see men as people who are gonna need to build up money so that they can provide for a family. So this mentality is hurting women so bad because...
Why do some people believe single men are handling today's economy better than ever? And why has that become such a controversial topic online? As living costs continue to rise and more adults remain single than in previous generations, many are rethinking the financial impact of modern relationships. Some argue that staying single offers greater financial freedom, while others believe it's simply a response to a changing economy. So what's really behind this shift? Today's video explores one perspective that's gaining attention, and whether you agree or disagree, it's a conversation that's becoming harder to ignore.
Ladies, I know some of y'all just can't wrap your mind around that feminism is the reason for your burnout. Listen up. Yeah, I know. 30 years ago, a family of 4 or 5 could live off of one income comfortably. So let's backtrack. Feminism told women you need independence. You need a career. You need to prove yourself outside of your home. So think about it. Labor supply doubled. Wages kind of stagnated. Meanwhile, the cost of living just shot up. So employers didn't have to pay a single man because it was so common for both people to work now because of feminism. And then everything inflated because society got used to people having 2 incomes. Then women told other women that it was oppressive to be a stay-at-home full-time mother and that you needed to go climb the corporate ladder, you baddie boss babe. So ladies, we fed into the lie. Not only do we have the mother duties and the home duties, we now have a 40-hour work week on top of that. So realistically, what happens from this? You end up being exhausted, stressed, burned out, anxious, depressed. What do some people resort to? Medication. And what happens? The cycle just keeps continuing. And then marriages fail. The family crumbles. So walking away from God's design, this is what we've got.
The economy never cared about the narrative. It runs on discipline and output, neither of which are hashtag compatible. The math was always there. People just had enough cushion to ignore it for a while.
If it is to be a woman in today's day and age. I'll start with my tier 1 of products that I use every single morning but this totals to about $650 in product. Next is my nighttime routine. These products total about $610. So products alone, I'm gonna say are around $200 to $300. And then there's the actual tools. This blow dryer alone costs $300. Let me just point out that I did get that on sale, but still. So if we're talking the total of the tools, that's probably another $500 to $600 right there. Of course, it's important to keep in mind that lots of these are one-time purchases. And most of the products last between 3 to 4 months, but these are still things that we have to pay for that you don't. It's hard for me to total all that up, but ballpark, and this is me being on the conservative end of things, I'd say it's about $1,000 worth of product. There's a lot of pressure to be hairless, tan, poreless, beautiful people. And you know who put those beauty standards in place? Men. You know who owns lots of those beauty companies and fashion companies and famous lingerie brands? Men. So if you're gonna tell me what I should wear and how I should look, the least you can do is buy me a drink.
My hot take is that companies don't take women's salary requests seriously because they have this underlying assumption that that woman will go get married and her income won't matter. Subconsciously in their head, I really do feel like they're like, well, this is fun money. She's late 20s. Surely it doesn't really matter that much. What does she have to do? Build wealth? Save money? There's no need. She'll get married and then she'll have a baby with whoever she's getting married with. However, when they're employing men, they see men as the providers. They see men as people who are gonna need to build up money so that they can provide for a family. So this mentality is hurting women so bad because not all of us want a family. Not all of us want to get married. And even if we do, we still deserve to build up wealth. We deserve to have our income not just be seen as fun money. I've fully had past employers be like, oh, what do you need that money for? What? What do you mean? Or they almost treat the women as greedy for wanting more money. Or women are expected to just want to work for the cause of the company rather than working to work. And they really look down on a woman that is money motivated. So they're gonna hate me, bitch. And I want to make a lot of money because I don't want to need anyone ever. And I provide for my family, my cat. And probably my elders, because let's be real, who else is going to do it?
Lifestyle built on inflated expectations meets income built on actual output. The gap between those two numbers is where the humbling lives. The reset isn't cruel, it's arithmetic.
College, I dated a very traditional Christian man who asked me at one point, how do you feel about after you graduated, we just immediately got married and you were a stay-at-home wife and you didn't have to work? I was honestly offended by that question because I was so passionate about this thing that I was getting a degree in that I was just so eager to enter the workforce and do this thing that I loved and get money for it. Fast forward to today, I've graduated, we broke up, I'm now working in the profession of the thing that I got a degree in, and I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done.
Selling your body for money is not going to help you in 2026. No good man that they say that fine girl, but she is a prostitute. It's not good now. It doesn't make sense. That prostitution you are doing will not help you. Selling your body for money, it will not help you. To be sincere, go and get a job, or you go and learn a skill. Person don't go find you work. Tell you say that 60,000 that they pay. You don't calculate and chon. Money will go get in 1 week by selling your body. There is so many disadvantages. You can contact STD, gonorrhea, so many infections. Sleeping with different men has so many disadvantages. Learn a trade. Find gear. Look for something and do. The one where they pay me pass. Some of you go and get pregnant. It's dignity in labor. I know what I'm telling you. Don't worry, God is going to help me and you.
When the external support disappears, the excuses run out simultaneously. No systems to blame, no men to point at, just effort on one side and outcome on the other. That equation has never been unfair. It's just finally being applied consistently.
Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live? 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660. So I work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment and an extra $300 a month. Like, it doesn't cover my phone, internet, food, So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted that I don't have time either. Like, I get off work at 5:30, come home, and I'm just so tired.
From this point forward in 2026, men should only be dating with women that have lots of money. If a woman has a nice vehicle and a good job and lots of money, that's the only woman you date. Other than that, no more brokies. All the women are cut off from 2026 on. No more brokies.
Independent was always the brand. Paying your own bills was supposed to be the product. Turns out there were two different things the whole time, and the gap just became impossible to hide.
Single income, no kids. How y'all doing? Sinks. And that's perfect because that's what I feel like I'm doing right now is sinking in this economy. I cannot buy a house. I don't know that I'll ever be able to buy a house. I barely make it. I gave myself $150 to make my house festive for Christmas. And now I'm eating ramen noodles.
The single tax is so real. Like, I'm genuinely, I would move my parents into my house right now if my parents, lived close to me. They're renting, and it would just, make my life so much easier. To have somebody to split these bills with. Everything is so expensive. I'm just genuinely fighting for my life.
I'll be fighting for my life financially, and then all of my toiletries run out at the same time, like some kind of coordinated attack. Yeah, it's never one thing. It's never just toothpaste. It's never just deodorant. No, it's everything deciding to expire together, like they had a secret meeting under my sink. My shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash, lotion, razor blades, all tapping out at once, like, all right, everyone, on 3. And suddenly I'm at the store spending $87 just to maintain basic hygiene. Not luxury hygiene. Not spa day hygiene. Just, don't smell weird in public hygiene. It feels personal. Like the universe said, oh, you're broke? Let's make you broker. I'll be budgeting. Like, I can survive off of oatmeal and vibes this week. And then my deodorant is like, actually, no, you can't. Toiletries are sneaky too. They never warn you. They're full for weeks. And then one pump and you're like, oh, okay, I have nothing. Then you go buy everything and your bank account looks at you like, wow, you chose cleanliness over survival? Honestly, at this point, it doesn't feel like random timing anymore. It feels like sabotage, a coordinated strike.
Independence with a sponsor isn't independence. It's a performance funded by someone else. Remove the funding and the performance ends. What's left is just reality, which has been waiting patiently the entire time.
Brands and materialism and consumerism. So if you ask them, what is the price of a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, they'll know the price. But you'll ask them, what's the price of Costco stock right now? They will not know the answer. Like, what's the most trending brands? They'll know how to do the smoky eye or whatever the heck is trending. They'll know how much a naked palette costs. But then you ask them, okay, so what's their certificate of deposit? Like, what's the difference between potentially buying an ETF like this one or that one? What's a Vanguard fund? And you'll notice that a lot of times people don't know the answer to those things. Like, what's the benefit of a Roth IRA versus a regular traditional IRA? What you talk about anything like that, they don't really know, right? What is the importance of compound interest? They don't really know the answer to that. And this is why I think there is a huge wealth disparity, frankly, between women and men. It's not that we are intellectually not capable. It's just that we have been maneuvered by a lot of brands and businesses that has realized, oh, it's really easy to poach this person, take their energy and have them, instead of focusing on, what is the best index fund they can invest in, why don't we try to sell them this really expensive makeup palette? Why don't we try to sell them this really expensive purse, for instance? Why don't we try to make them aspire to have a Birkin bag instead of building a business, building a cash flow business? That's the saddest thing about what I see in today's culture that's stopping women from reaching financial freedom, financial success. So if you follow me, my channel is not going to be about that. I'm not going to be talking about, how much time you should be spending on your makeup or how to apply foundation. I'm going to be talking about how do you get rich? How do you get rich quick, bitch? That's what I'm going to be talking about.
Accountability has a way of showing up uninvited the moment the assistant stops. Years of optional responsibility in the same way, with adulthood arriving late and billing for everything it missed.
I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about women. And I'm not saying this like, oh, screw them. No, that's not the context of what I'm saying. God bless women. They're very important. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of men depend on a woman's validation and acceptance to feel good about themselves as men. And that used to be me. But then I realized how dumb that is. Like, you got to get that from yourself by putting in work every single day and trying to get past your struggles. And now that I've accepted this and I've done this for a couple of years now, it completely has detached the need to have woman in my life. Like trying to go out on dates and meet new, like it doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm detached from it. I'm very focused on my life, and I'm not against, like, if I meet someone in public and we hit it off, that's cool. But if not, I'm not tripping about it. I'm cool. And people might think I'm weird. People are like, oh, I bet you talk to girls and this and that. I'm like, no, bro, my phone's dry and I like it like that. Like, I'm focused on my business. I'm focused on being the best I can be, getting closer to God. If I meet someone, I meet someone. But like I said, I think that's the key, is just being detached and just live your life. And eventually, I think you attract the right people for you. And if not, then that's out of my control. So yeah, that's how I feel in regards to women, at least me interacting with them. I don't necessarily need it anymore. And I think women should feel the same way about men. But that's just me.
The market has no ideology. It pays for demonstrated value and ignores everything else without apology. 2026 didn't change the rules. It just stopped granting extensions.
I'm about to say something that feels a little bit wrong to admit. I've been unemployed for so long that I'm really not excited to go back to another corporate position at this point. And the thing is, people keep rooting for me like, oh, you're gonna find such a badass corporate job. But people don't realize that's not even what I want anymore. After sitting with myself after so many rejections, I'm like, why am I even chasing this in the first place? It almost makes me uncomfortable when people project that version of success onto me. I'm not unmotivated and I'm not giving up. I just don't feel right running back to something that drained me and then calling it a win, you know?
No cushion, no applause, no bailout. Just choices and their consequences, same as it's always worked for everyone else. Equality wasn't supposed to come with exemptions. It just took this long for the exemptions to expire.
When you're talking to a girl and she says that she does not want children, that is the biggest red flag in the world because she's living for herself more than she is for her future offspring. There's no bigger red flag. We are all going to pass away and be forgotten. The only thing we contribute to the world is our children.
Well, congratulations on finally saying the quiet part out loud. You don't actually want kids. You fear death. Which is understandable, but what is not understandable is this audacity that you have to say that women who don't want children are only thinking of themselves. Meanwhile, the reason that you gave for wanting kids is completely self-centered. Well, I'm going to help you out here, Owen, because it is an absolute mess in your comment section. You don't actually think that women who don't want children are selfish. You're just scared that you won't be able to find a woman who will help you cope with your fear of death by giving you children. And you know what? You might be right. Because the last thing that's going to make a woman want to have your kids is you making her believe that it's the only thing that makes her useful. And while that medicine is going down, I'm going to give you a little sugar to put on top of it. At the end of the day, there are more selfish reasons to have children than there are selfish reasons to not have children. But hey, I'm sure your future kids will be grateful to know that their existence was dependent on your own personal fears.
The empowerment package was sold as liberation, but the fine print listed someone else as the guarantor. The trial period expired, and the full price is now due. No refunds, no extensions.
Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't. Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence. Meanwhile, your grandmothers had way fewer choices, but way stronger direction. They built families. They built the roots. They built something bigger than themselves. And this generation swapped it all for convenience. Legacy for pleasure, meaning for freedom without structure. And here's the part that nobody likes to talk about. The men that they overlooked in their 20s, they didn't just vanish. They were building, failing, learning, becoming disciplined, and becoming men. Men don't peak early. They compound with time. Value grows with time and skill and responsibility. Women don't gain leverage by delaying everything. That is not cruelty. That is reality. Every decision comes with a cost. Modern narratives today did not remove the bill, they just postponed it, and the outcome is usually the same. Distractions instead of connection. Comfort instead of intimacy, and independence without fulfillment. This is not about going backward. It's about correcting the course. We don't need less ambition. We need stronger values, commitment, family, masculine leadership, feminine devotion, and a shared purpose, because freedom without foundation doesn't liberate, it isolates you completely. And tradition wasn't the problem, abandoning it was.
The invoice doesn't care what the marketing promised. Every subsidized ideology eventually meets its billing cycle. This one just took longer than most to arrive. So, why do some believe single men are surviving the economy more comfortably? If this clip points to one conclusion, it's this. Some argue that having fewer financial obligations and greater control over their income allows single men to adapt more easily to today's economy. That doesn't mean every single man is thriving, nor does it mean relationships are the cause of financial struggles. But if more people are beginning to see independence as an economic advantage, then it's no longer just a personal choice. It's part of a much larger cultural conversation. The real question is whether today's economy is changing how people think about relationships altogether. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.